many Collins ADOMAKO.
Okay.
And you can come on say one of the few gentlemen who were MPP.
Oh yeah.
Me Makatan said that Ocean Husuya bet me I be a president.
Only Madam Penasem.
Yeah.
Say Adia no who say Ebia ne party Mumbai Kotia Kra or say yeah, we dear Metiasie. I think say he say yeah. And he is very objective. I like that about him.
Very.
Yeah.
Says Uncle Phony say ni here mu MPP.
Sure. And my party na ko nanim.
Aye. Enti Momfa sam penifo we bi ndidi animu emma mo party no.
Sure.
Na bibia anye okay. Enti Afija Kwabre MP Honorable Collins ADOMAKO. Honorable Mechiao.
Really, last time I was free, I bought my bass no be free. I say, I'll pay your boy you. I do be your no.
I said, they may bought Joma Hama, but I did a mania Joma Hama and Ginya me. Oh. Just a cry, just a dear same.
Lines is so crowd.
Lines will be for.
But sounds on the sense of humor, cram when you take Honorable Collins.
Say, okay, Mate. Honorable Timinka. I met you say, name me Bojo Mahama Basu, but Eddie Aminano. Into your sanity. And now parliament say minority leaders say Azam budget and number ready also support Azam budget now say different opinion budget no or reaction here day.
Oh, first of all, and atmosphere na very cordial. It sounds out of 4 since one of us. And our very good interpersonal relationship, both sides. And he said, observe behavior on the floor. It was not like the normal budget reading. I heckle here and there. The understanding was that upon Eba, let's take our time for him. Let's listen to him. Now, of course, for description of budget there, meaning it's a bit back into history. There's no budgeter, the MPP, the NDC, describe it in good terms. And I'm not surprised at the reaction from my leader. It is more of a parliamentary gimmicks I use to as our budget. I'm sure say you're a journalist, and if you go back into history, you understand. Say it is not always the case. Say the budget where the opposition will be excited about it. One or two comments here and there will come. And next will say, the parliamentary in the infant content. But by and large, I think he met some expectations, but of course he fell short of some of them. Of course, we are Bebono, and you are excited about the Burton tax. Now, what is so about Burton tax? Obviously, you'll be excited about it. Sabe, we are Bebono na umpe levy. Now, so what is so levy everywhere? You'll be excited about it. But of course, Obisu mining industry, what to say, increasing their growth and sustainability, from 1% to 3%. Also, on the expectations have not been met, you'll be disappointed. And so there, some people will be happy about it, others will be disappointed about it. It depends on industry who play in, and the views will differ. ADOMAKO was his honesty. We say about the real sector development in 2024, which is really a verdict on the part of the MPP party. He was very candid because over Parliament it's a house of records, and you can't say otherwise. Now he confirms that the economy grew by 5.7% in 2024. What this means is that Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, in spite of all the challenges or encounter as a president, he handed over an economy that grew by 5.7%. Don't forget, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Oja Abainama Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, the growth was around average of 3%.
So,
and this will be a 5.7% amount. Now the minister are candid enough to say yes, say na yebetonu. I think say it's a feather in his cap as a minister. So what kind of ask again for? But of course, and also a good thing for Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. Said His Excellency he described it, say it was criminally managed. I'm not too sure say figures reflect that criminal management of the economy. Fortunately, the debt to GDP, we are told that now it's at 61.8%. That is a significant drop from maybe a war up to now. What it means is the debt management level is within a manageable level, which is also very, very important. And yesterday I was happy he was able to say these are the real figures and now then go Ejamaye. Interestingly, the macroeconomic targets, or say overall real GDP growth, or no expected say 2025 you will grow at 4.4%. And I was hoping say in Kayegan of 5.7, and this year with a very less debt stock and we grow more than the 5.7%. But he's projecting say he will grow at 4.4%. And then I have a crack. End of year inflation. He anticipates he will end it at 11.9%, which will be good because inflation go all the way to 50 something percent. And to say or projected so obit maybe back below 12% at 11 point something percent. That is quite significant. And also he talked about the abolition of the 10% tax on winnings from lottery. And I'm sure there's been some conversations about whether lottery is the same as betting. And I'm sure by now, no clarity about because there seems to be some difference. Or share the Income Tax Amendment Act. There's a clear difference between lotto, winnings from lotto, and the betting. But I think the minister interchange both. Or share Appendix 141. He said, we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery, otherwise known as betting tax. But there's a clear difference between betting tax and lotto because the regulatory bodies managing those two are different. One is by NLA, the other is by the Gaming Commission. The Gaming Commission one is the and the charge. But the winnings from lottery, it has never been charged. And so you cannot abolish something that has never been charged anyway.
But I think, say, the clarity is that the na ye charge be ana boys new complaining a momonso ma ba ye say nkamu wini amu betwem no mu nyina mo ka betting tax nti adentin at that time Dr. Bawumia krachefo amu nyina mu wom including honorable Amina or finance minister entimi anka nche Dr. Bawumia say betting tax no ni hwan na wo ka no nchiriche mu ni say na till time ato force nso use the same thing amu nyina mu use so mbetwam no afi na mo chire mu chire say nyese
le patron Dr. Bawumia ankada say be winnings from lottery. Dr. Bawumia ankasa
we talked about betting tax.
Neba Dr. Bawumia can say obey betting tax. And I'm saying say betting tax in the energy to see in free ho. Ato force statement and I'm reading verbatim and if you will listen to me we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery. It is Atoforson who brought the angle of winnings from lottery. As for the betting tax, the negative to be free. But Atoforson,
honorable to was mommy, may clarity, ma'am. Right now, before Senna Adewe ebe critique that controversy. Again, na mo de ba ya na enkrofose omumpe na munyim free so.
It is the betting tax. And if Atoforson wants to take out betting tax, you don't have any problem. But he shouldn't say.
But not 10% was 10% na boys ne say so be di ebia 1,000 and near 100 cedis no. Na no ye.
And no betting tax. But there were another 10%. You win from lottery. And no, it was never implemented. And to say Atoforson in kind of statements no can say we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on betting. Any different? And could be any problem. But when he said, we will abolish 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery, And then he referred to the winnings from lottery.
But no, but says 10% in one sem and a nay control whether it be a one can year or whatever. They're not street. They're not street in they're not street in Pachambao. The streets, they're not street in they say. Yeah, dear, yeah, near 10%. And no one sem na I'm sure say you're withholding tax because street in there and you don't know two technical or withholding tax. You're not telling say I buy at 10% yempe. I'm sure say no, withholding tax in our clear everyone. I
know you are dream pa say certain tax under the it is the national one account. But I'm saying that when you come to Parliament, which is a house of records, now who announces say, oh, Barbie, tax be everywhere. As the finance minister, you must be careful with your wording. When you say you are going to abolish winnings on lottery, which is lotto, which is governed by another regulatory body, no, Abra wouldn't say 10% on that lotto, you charge a crown. When you say you are going to take it off, we have every right to clarify. And you know, that is where Antako can say that tax no cry the cry. But the betting tax the gaming commission for managing it, and then they will be able to say 10%.
But at force in Kekawi, no, or can be say otherwise known as the betting tax. Apart from
that's where the problem is. The winnings from lottery cannot be equated to betting tax. They are two different things. The winnings from lottery is which is managed by NLA. And no, 10% BL so. And no, it's totally different from betting tax. Betting tax is a game of chance. It is managed by the Gaming Commission.
Enti ase woman say yemfa say ato forcing technically no one can ye but the yen na eti ase ne say 10% be an street no so yempe no ye free ho.
Absolutely. One announce say nyame adoma or the an amendment to the bill on the daba to change that 10% to zero weightage. And the enemy again. But I'm saying that the word they use here, we also have the right to clarify.
Okay.
Say the winnings on lottery you cannot abolish that. And also it's not the same as betting tax.
Great.
And then he went on to say he's going to abolish e-levy. Any problem here. And then he said you abolish emission levy. Now emission levy, it was passed by Parliament. But as I speak to you now, we never had. That's what I say. Emission levy was passed. But the implementation stage, Obian will be Makase, Akotadie, and now say, Wakoye Bibia, you're charging emission levy. So once it is not being charged, it means it has not been a burden on the citizen anyway. You cannot abolish and create the impression and say you are easing the burden by taking off emission levy, especially when emission levy yen charge a crowd. That's what I say. So that is it.
But my worry is, you see, more new memo after the fact. First of all, so discussions in the buying, NDC4 can say emission tax should be year free. I didn't a man treat him at that time till after the fact. And a mobile many people who say, oh, yeah, Angie. But the impression that was created amongst me and Mano was that emission tax, no, yeah, Gigi.
So, emission tax was passed by Parliament. Now, normally when you pass it, it goes to GRA. Now, we put it in the system to charge it. During the implementation of that system, setting up the system, I think they realized that there was some problem. And they didn't charge it at all. But it was incumbent on us to make that clarity prior to this announcement, to show to the people, say, yes, you're passing, I understand where you're coming from. But I'm saying, so when the minister comes back to Parliament, no create the impression, say, oh, be free citizen, I think we also have the right to clarify, say, no quite pass here. But as we speak now, there be anywhere you find emission levy. And so baby and nano no problem. But nobody should create the impression say that kind of burden was put on us. But and so they say, so I understand where you're coming from. That we were also supposed to have explain it better.
But let me ask.
Now,
okay, to us now.
And then there was issue about COVID-19. But in this budget, no, they are looking at reforms with the VAT reforms. It's immediately COVID-19 is not off. You still be charged COVID-19 levy. They will only implement the abolishment after the reforms. And our statement, let's make it clear. So the immediate removal of certain taxes does not include COVID-19 tax. In fact, COVID-19 tax will still run until said you know also or technical assistance from the IMF and the World Bank to help them fashion out the implementation of our VAT system in general. It's at that point, and ODD say when they are done with their reforms, no, they will abolish it. And we'll say it is up to the end of the year. And to be an and as will be an phantom, say the levies na year through and a tax year through COVID-19 income.
Mamin Sam Fan call back. I'm reading something from BBC News. And the title is Ghana enforces controversial emission levy. And that was 2nd February 2024. Byline, Gloria Aradi, writing for BBC News. And I read.
What's your date here then?
2nd February 2024.
Okay.
It was written by Gloria Aradi, BBC News. And I read. A full emission levy has taken effect in Ghana, sparking mixed reaction. The government now requires Ghanaians to pay an annual levy for the carbon emission produced by their petrol or diesel power vehicles. Several citizens are opposing the charge, which they see as an added burden amid an ongoing economic crisis. Ghana is the third African country to introduce a form of carbon tax after South Africa and Mauritius. The tax agency, and this is where it's very important, the tax agency, Ghana Revenue Authority, has said that the levy aligns with the government plans to promote the use of eco-friendly technology and green energy. The GRA began collecting the annual levy approved by Parliament in December. On Thursday, fees range from 75 Ghana cedis for motorized tricycles to 300 cedis for vehicles with capacity. Benjamin Boachi, the head of the Think Tank Africa policy, said government was not being sensitive by imposing the levy on top of the already. And so Kenkayana, based on the BBC news, it was based on the news, if my memory is right there. Na omashasiye sikano. But then
so first of all,
yeah.
I don't agree with the reportage by the BBC. Budgets are normally read in November, end of November. We budget in November for the preceding year. Now, what normally happens because it's a bill. It's a bill, for tax. They will normally come to Parliament with a bill. I am aware that the bill, the emission bill, did not follow in February immediately after the reading of the budget. In fact, it came in the following year. And we couldn't have been charging the emission levy in December. It's not possible. We couldn't have been charging that. And that is why the report was date of the report. Also 2nd February 2024. We couldn't have been charging it in December immediately after the budget was read in November. It's not possible. It's AB and they got the reportage wrong. But I know, based on the information I have, say yes, it was passed. They are not wrong to say Ghana has passed. It is true, we passed it all. You did charge emission levy. But the implementation of it, my information I have, say it was never implemented.
Right. From who are we opposition, and we will end with this. So what you want now, okay, na utie ade ankane yese mubetimi aye na mwanya na mugusu ye defense say o ba omia do ye mate driver ba omia wontimi yi mfiri ho because I remember emre bi ekohia no e wo Accra no obi busa ne say Usubeyi betinta, susubeyi ilevi, ubesube. Na denti na wunyi mfiri ho ansana. Waba ni enwusu ayebi. Osiso ye ni nyina ebe den wetimi ayebi. Ochiriche mu me ehu ye. Monso mu defende se enye Bawumia na ye president. Inti ye president adwuma. But it was very clear say Ghana forecast say Bawumia ye serious so pan MPP mu ye serious a. Monye mi yenhwe. Panye. Inti se eno a wote ho na hu se ade anan ka mbetimi anye. Mo antimi anye na NDC aba yi asese oje all the praises ni nyina street na aniaji. Candidly, as a member of parliament or your MPP ni, how do you feel?
I think you are being very, very unfair to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I think this issue about whether that will be your mates or not, we've crossed past that. Indeed, in Parliament, the majority leader on a debate about cabinet made it very clear it's a cabinet and advisory body. And to the debate as to whether a vice president has power or not, we've crossed that. The buck stops with the president. That is a fact. It is very, very unfair for you to conclude, say, Bawumia was weak and all that. I beg to differ. And the president, at the force in Parliament, or say he is there on the instructions of the president. And to know if at the time, Bawumia Kacho say, he spoke about it, and it's become very clear. Say, there are some of the things, him say, now it's open that Bawumia opposed it in cabinet. But you do so as an advisory body. The president has the final say as to whether we should abolish a tax or not. It's another I feel say it's a little bit uncomfortable to blame Bawumia for it.
I understand, but the point was.
I'm coming. Let me
okay,
explain.
me too.
I understand. Say, and they would not bonus. You are not being fair to him. At a point in time, even the general secretary of our party was strong enough to come openly to tell the president, Mr. President, please do some reshuffle. The president, it took him how many months to do it? But he reserved the right. We can only say it behoves on the president to decide on what to do or not. Instead, the message say, but as a member of parliament, parliament, say about abolish meeting tax. Na media foko krum na for ebosin. I would have wished in the party able say my. Yes, I would have wished. The truth is that I would have wished. Because some of the things that I felt a very low hanging fruit. Also say the obitri assemblyman for car. Assemblyman for no, also 100 million. But check the number of assemblymen we have in Ghana. I don't know the number. Every month we'll be able to get 200 Ghana cities and 300 Ghana. And yes, it can be a sabe. But the fact say will be one more mine. Oh, no assembly man pushing the 300 Ghana. He's excited about it. That's it. He's excited. These are some things that I felt say we had an opportunity and we had an opportunity to do it. I would have always think but I'm just hoping say also budget there, reading it is different. Implementation is another thing. Let's see how the implementation will go. I don't wish say it will be bad. If the levies are taken off, if I'm just hoping say the implementation, as per the budget said the working time as a fair. We are hoping say the implementation will be smooth to the benefit of everybody.
Say mumu na also send enye nyina na send my inti me hu dia wo keka aka no
mumu bu ha send ni mumu a wo say mumu na limit ebu obi also a big boy enye 300 400 500 and na yet obi wa say usia no na only din komo pa big boss is there there
I just want
to
check
the 400 the cinema waka at the channel now about radio so MPB pa where we good when ma say good when ma if you MP on cast if you kwa be no fa na obi ehuni papa o kan o be cast if you MP na say we good many ma say ti bra what the end of the show we mu the fatao
and odisi kan pe wu nti we the men send mo why
odisi ka de mate abo ma de nyame adoma You never be target.
It is well. Honorable Yadasi. Honorable Collins ADOMAKO Mensa. Infra Evans Nununa. Insura 104.5. Other one. Bra, yenye we in Sokara.